Happy holidays, everyone. My name is James Korniski, and I'm a member of the technical marketing team here at Autodesk. Today, we're looking at some top tips from folks all across Autodesk to help you design a little bit more magically with Fusion. My top tip is using the S key, which brings up the Design Shortcuts menu. Now, this is a great menu that you should use as much as you can. You can add whatever you want to it to quickly access those commands. So you can see here I have fillet, extrude, sketch, mirror, all commands I use quite frequently. But the best one that I like to switch between is selection by body and selection by all other aspects. So if I select by body, my cursor will only select the available bodies. But if I switch back to select by all, I can select edges, points, bodies, faces, anything. And this is all found in this menu, Select, Selection Priority, and Selection Filters. But you can see when I select by body only, it basically removes all of the selection filters except bodies. I find this very helpful for doing things such as counting objects or hiding objects. So if I want to hide this entire body, I can select it, press V, and it's gone, versus hiding specific faces or specific points or edges. This is also incredibly helpful for when you're designing and snapping pieces together, if you're in the assembly workspace, or just really designing any complex assembly at all. Alright, that's it from me, but I hope you have a great holiday season, and here's the next top tip.
Hi everyone, Richard Stubley here, one of the product managers at Autodesk, and I want to give you some of my top tips for this holiday season. I've got this tank and I want to put 3 equal spacings in the middle of it. So let's have a look at my sketch. Let's create a dimension first for the first portion of the tank. I'm going to hit OK and not put any dimension in there, just whatever it sits at. I'm going to do my second one and reference that first one. I know what you're thinking, well that's definitely not equal. I'm now going to do my third one. It's going to be an over-constrained dimension, a driven dimension. I'm going to grab that first one, reference that driven dimension, and it all magically becomes equal. Of course, if I change that, all the spacing changes. I prefer this to pattern because you can also do it with different geometry. It's just about making a number of dimensions all equal. Let's head over to the next one. So here I need to make these circles equal. Now, of course, we've got the equal constraint, and you might have done this 4 times. Did you know you can hold down Shift, select multiples of an object, hit equal, and it does it all for you. Now, I want this wall thickness here now to be 2.5 millimeters. I used to draw a line down, I used to constrain it so it was at the right part. I then would have to put a dimension here of 2.5, and I probably have to convert it to construction geometry as well. But did you know you can do all of that by just right-clicking instead? D for dimension, start my dimension off, choose a arc tangent with the right-click menu, and there we go. How easy was that? Those are my top tips. Thanks so much for using Fusion this year, and we look forward to seeing you after the holidays. Bye.
Okay, I have to share this with you again. This is one of my favorite tips in Fusion. It's one of those things where if you know how it works well. And it all has to do with keyboard shortcuts and camera focal lengths. Let's check it out. Okay, so when you're looking at models in the design workspace, your camera focal length is set to 90 millimeters. But sometimes you want to go a bit wider. And to do that, we're actually going to go to the render workspace and pull up the scene settings command. Now within scene settings, you know that you can change your focal length to a wider focal length. And that's actually exactly what we're going to use. We're going to pull up this command, but in the design workspace. And the way to do that is to go to the scene settings dropdown and give it a custom keyboard shortcut. That's right, I gave mine the equal key. Now, if you go to the design workspace and hit the key that you assigned that command to, scene settings will show up, and now you're able to change your focal length to a 35 or even an 18, 19, or maybe just a 50. And when you look at that, now you've got a wider angle view of your design.
Hey folks, this is Marty from the Fusion product management team here with a very quick and tenuously holiday themed quick tip. I'm modifying this pedal model to machine for a holiday gift, and let's say I know I want this face to be 2 millimeters below the pegs for a grippier feel. I can use the 3-dot menu in the extrude command, or any other modeling command, to reset the distance reference to the top of the peg so that I can set that 2 millimeters directly rather than measuring and having to do math and jump through all those hoops. Hope this super quick tip makes your modeling easier. And from all of us at the Fusion team, happy holidays.
Hi, my name's Adam and I work in customer engagement here at Autodesk. Here's my favourite feature to come to Fusion this year. Constraints is another assembly method and can be accessed through this button here. This opens a window which allows us to select different pieces of geometry such as faces and edges, which will allow us to connect components together and assemble our product. Using constraints immediately brings the two components into contact, and the key here is that each constraint removes a component's degree of freedom until the assembly is fixed exactly as we intended. We can select the feature again and build more constraints to attach this handle to the basket. Let's align the top and rear faces of the handle with the draw front and see how quickly the model snaps into place. My favourite part of this feature is the width constraint. Now the width constraint takes two faces from one component and two faces from another component. Instead of having to manually calculate dimensions to centre a part, the width constraint automatically places components symmetrically between two reference faces, which is a huge time saver in assemblies. So from everyone here at Fusion and the customer engagement team, we want to wish you an amazing holidays and a happy new year.